Hey, Leilani with the Magical Solution here. This is a really great question. Thank you so much for asking. So the previous video was pretty loaded. It was a pretty loaded video with a lot of topics that I covered. But the part that you're asking about was the part that was reflecting how science and spirituality are not at odds, that they are looking for the same thing, and that the mystic is nothing more than a spiritual scientist, and a scientist is nothing more than a material mystic, and that when it comes to utilizing the tools of science and technology, we have to remember that the way technology works is through efficiency and through making things go faster, better, the best of it aims for perfection in whatever it is it's wanting to achieve. And so every time a new discovery comes out, the length between that discovery and the next discovery is going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. And because technology builds upon itself. And so because of that, we as spiritual beings need to ensure that our moral compass is ready for the rapid changes that occur when new sciences, new technologies, new tools are discovered and are starting to be utilized. My father used to say to me growing up, we live at a time where the moron rule, right? And we were never meant to be this far ahead with technology and everything, because we never developed our humanity and our morality and our spirituality. We haven't matched it yet. And he explains to me, he's like, it's like giving a gorilla the blueprint to making a jet airplane, right? He likened it to this idea that you are handing over information, and that information again builds upon itself over and over and over again and gets faster and faster as it does it, to someone like a child, and so overall what I was trying to say in that video is that through spiritism, through mysticism, through the technologies of, not the technologies, through the philosophies of the universal truths, we can begin to develop those qualities, to understand what we are supposed to be doing with these technologies, nuclear technology, going from a long range rifle to an AK, going from just a swimsuit to now making submarines. There's so much to say regarding our growth of the mind, and that's a beautiful thing. It's so amazing to watch the feats of humanity and the things that we can do, even our physical bodies. I mean, you've seen the LeBron James of the world, the Michael Jordans of the world. We've seen peak performances and extraordinary feats of strength and endurance and this and that from the physical, right? So why not start addressing some of the more internal moralistic things, the emotional things? Why aren't we seeking for the best of those areas of our lives? Because we are a whole human. We are a holistic being. We're not just physical. We're not just mental, and so I'm calling, this is the call for the age of emotional and spiritual progression, to see what we can actually do as emotional spiritual beings, and utilizing these universal truths, utilizing the technologies, and utilizing the traditional ways of the diaspora through those explorations, I believe that we will come to the answer. I believe that we can start at least just get the ball rolling. Otherwise we're looking at, well, like I mentioned in the last video, wars, annihilation, just literally blowing each other off the planet. All of those are absolutely a natural consequence for an undeveloped emotional spiritual body and an overdeveloped ego, utilizing the tools of overdeveloped minds, overdeveloped physicality, etc., right? So yeah, I mean, again, I can go on about these subjects forever. I really can. I can talk myself into circles because I always love to play devil's advocate with myself. So I like to play both sides, and I can argue both sides, and I can have agreements with things on both sides of literally any conversation or any subject. But one thing I'm really passionate about, one thing that I don't veer from, it's the mountain that I will die on, is the hope that innately we are good people. The hope that we are innately destined and geared and wired to move in the direction of progression, but that we are utilizing the physical world and the playground, if you will. We're utilizing this playground of experimentation for all the wrong reasons. And so we just end up just playing out these historical scenarios just over and over and over again. We just never learn. And it's one civilization after another civilization, every fall of Rome, just over and over again. And I think we need to get to a point where we need to be sick and tired of these hijackers of the experience, when you really think about it, because we're here on this earth as for this experience, and you have these dudes that hijack it and claim authority and claim, some type of dictation over how it's supposed to roll out, and then they end up just blowing us out of the world, and it's not fair anymore. I think it's time for the spiritually, emotionally developed people to take charge and to teach others how to be their full selves, and doing that through these works, and that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Anyway, thanks so much for the question. If you guys have any more questions, I would love to hear from you. I've been a little MIA for a while. I've had a lot of wonderful, wonderful things go on in my life, as well as things that some fires that I've had to put out, but like in a good way, And I will slowly be getting back into the fold again. Just been sort of watching from a distance, and it's a hot mess here on TikTok as per usual. But I'm here, so feel free to email me or drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you. My name's Leilani. This is The Magical Solution, and this is how we grow.